It's time to bring you yet another amazing episode. And now, welcome your host.
Now, we are here for a reason, and that we must seek to find as each day unfolds. Now, these answers that we seek for lies within us, and not till we begin to look inwards while we also look upwards at the same time, the answers will always show up. However, really, we may need to start to begin to challenge ourselves on how to improve on what we have found out at the end of the day. Now, we do this in order for us to lay hold of what life has in store for us, which is always a positive one at the end of the day. Now, improving on ourselves, not just on a personal level, but on a spiritual level also brings about more sense of fulfillment in the long run. Now, to my audience, really, have you ever asked yourself this question? How can I really truly live out my purpose? What changes am I willing to make in order for me to achieve this or to see these changes that I long for in life? Perhaps, is that anything like a life well lived? Absolutely. You are here in this world not just to exist, but to live life and live it more fully. In so much that when you look back, you're super grateful to eternity for giving you the chance to make your impact in the sands of time. Now, this is the definition of a life well lived. We are on this planet to learn from each other, and that's absolutely very important. Cultivating healthy relationships that is centered on realness, authenticity, and sharing disruptive mindship conversations that is going to pivot the changes you and I need in this side of eternity. That's the mission and the focus of Life Well Lived by Mobula Steven. I'm your host, Mobula Steven. Now, let's get the show started. Today, I will be talking about how we can understand the importance of focus and traction in business. And I have Laura Watson, who is a business and leadership coach, on the show with me today. Such an interesting topic to explore in this dynamic time that we are in. Thank you once again, Laura Watson, for joining me on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me here today.
Thank you once again. I'm really honored to have you, and I'm looking forward to having a really worthwhile time as you share your insight and also your expertise on today's topic with the audience of Life Well Lived by Mobula Steven. So let me kick off with this question. Is it really okay not to have a plan for your business? Now, that really sounds weird.
Is it okay to not have a plan for your business? Well, I guess it's okay, but you're not going to grow very quickly. To be honest, I used to resist business plans for my own business, which doesn't really make sense because, as you said, I'm a business and leadership coach. But in the very beginning of my coaching, I just wanted to coach. And in leadership coaching, I'm working a lot with people's leadership abilities, their communication effectiveness with their teams. And so I'm guilty of resisting business plans. And as a result of that, there were some implications and some prices I paid for that. And the prices were that my business was not focused. I was kind of going all over the place, meandering around and not moving forward very quickly and feeling lost at times. So I really did myself a disservice by not having a plan. Did I make progress? Yes, I sort of inched along, but could I have gone further, faster with a plan? Absolutely. And that's what I do today. I use business plans for myself, and it's something that I do with my clients. And because there's just so many distractions in our lives, in business and in life. There's so many shiny stars and things happening on social media, things that can pull our attention and our focus away. So by having a business plan, that's what gets us focused. And I find that when my clients have a plan and then follow their plan, they meet or exceed their goals. So it builds their confidence and they get where they want to go faster. So that's the importance of having a plan.
Now, really, you talk about focusing on this plan. Now, to a budding business owner or entrepreneur, is it just about having a plan or focusing on a plan? How about we talk about the outcomes? Is it to focus on the plan or to focus absolutely on the outcomes? What's your own take?
Well, the outcomes are part of the plan. So a plan is created by having a sense of where am I today and where do I want to be in the future? Whether that future is a year from now, 6 months from now, or even 5 years from now. What are the outcomes that I want to create? And then the plan becomes the steps that we're going to take to achieve those outcomes, whether it's us personally or the outcomes of our organization or our small business. So when I work on plans with people, that's where we start. And Stephen Covey talked a lot about this. He talked about start with the end in mind. So start with your outcomes in mind. And then what you need to do is reverse engineer your business. Create some clarity of where do you want to be 10 years from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? And then where do you want to be 1 year from now? That's in alignment with that 5 year and that 10-year future, because that's what stops the meandering. Speed in business or effectiveness in business happens when we have alignment. Everything is headed in the same direction. And we can do that by reverse engineering, choosing our outcomes first, and then planning the steps we will take towards achieving those outcomes.
Okay, right. Now, someone once said, and I quote, if you want to have success in your business, you need focus and dedication, which is quite right. And I agree to that. Now, this means that we should focus on one thing or at a time and giving it our all. Now, Laura, we have some people or some folks out there who have multiple streams of income. They run 2, 3, 4 more businesses at the same time. Does it mean that they aren't doing the right thing, or does it mean it's impossible for them to achieve the success they really intend to achieve when they focus on more business instead of exerting the right energy into a particular business and achieving the right result? So what do you think is the right way to go?
I think absolutely people can have more than one stream of income. I have more than one stream of income. I have my coaching business. I'm a real estate investor. So definitely you can have more than one stream of income. And in fact, I think it's beneficial that way. Robert Kiyosaki talks about that as well, that we can't have all of our eggs in one basket. It's wise to have multiple streams of income, but I think that's where planning is even more important, because for each stream of income, each of those income streams is a small business. So we have to have a plan for each of those. And just because we have a plan doesn't mean that we are the one executing that plan. In fact, a plan makes it easier for people to delegate to others, whether you're hiring, outsourcing resources, or you have an internal team. People cannot execute on your behalf if they don't know where the company is going, what the goals and objectives are. So having a plan helps us as owners be clear first, and then helps us communicate more clearly to our other resources so that they can execute on our behalf. And so, yes, if someone's going to have multiple streams of income, then they probably have people helping them. And in that case, they definitely need, to have a plan, those goals and objectives set. And they don't even necessarily have to know exactly what action steps to take. Maybe the person they're delegating to is the one who will know what action steps to take. But absolutely, that's where a plan is even more important.
Well, absolutely. Now, we are exploring the topic of, understanding the importance of focus and traction in the business. Now, I'd like us to talk about, focus in the business. Now, we have entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs who believe that they need to focus more on the business rather than on the business growth. I believe these are two different situations. How can you address this?
Well, you mentioned the word traction, and that actually, for me, comes from a book called Traction. And the byline of the book is Get a Grip on Your Business. So what I love about that book is it is actually a how-to manual on building your business and having that focus. It walks the reader through, and this is the approach that I have adopted with my clients. It really walks the reader through creating the plan for your business and staying on top of the execution on a weekly basis, even on a daily basis. Sometimes it talks about how to deal with your team members, how to hire effectively, how to evaluate your team. It talks about the systems and processes in your business and the importance of documenting those. It really dovetails with a previous book that came out a number of years ago called The Entrepreneurial Myth, or the E-Myth, because the E-Myth talks about how a lot of practitioners work too much in their business and not enough on their business. And lots of people have developed a skill, just like myself. I'm a coach. I have those skills. So when I'm coaching, I'm working in my business. But then there's all sorts of things I need to do where I work on my business, where I'm working on my marketing, where I'm working on my networking, where I'm working on my plan. So there's a distinction to be made between working on and working in. E-Myth introduced that idea, but didn't talk about how to do it. The book Traction is the tool I use to help people know how to do that. Because it's one thing to have a plan. That's the first step, but then we have to be able to execute. And execution means we have to stay on top of our plan. Because I notice a lot of people, if they have a plan, it gets shelved. Right? If it's on paper, they put it on a shelf and they kind of forget about it. If it's digital, it sits there on their desktop, and they forget to look at it. So the plan is no good if we don't keep it alive. So we have to be referencing our plan every week and looking at what are the action steps related to every single goal, just 1 or 2 action steps every week that we can take related to the goals that are going to keep us moving forward. Because it's the consistency in the taking the action steps that will move us forward. It's just like being in the gym and working out. If you're consistent, even if it's 15, 20 minutes a day, the consistency will make a difference. You can't just do it once a week or once a month. Hopefully that answers the question.
I really, that's some tough work, Laura. Come on now, let's talk about traction in business. How important is traction to business? Now, I like you to address this in proper perspective. Now, for example, I have some few clients who come to me and, they complain about, having invested all into their business, be it a budding business or, an ongoing business that is really effective. But now they aren't seeing any traction either online or offline. So it's been a struggle, really. What important is traction to a business, either a budding business or that which is already ongoing?
Well, the traction, it means that that it's jargon basically for the idea of we're taking steps forward and getting where we want to go. If people have been taking a bunch of action but not getting traction, then I think it's time to sit down and reflect about how focused has their action been. Have they been chasing too many shiny stars to just being busy? Because I find a lot of people just get busy, or they think that they get told, oh, you got to try this or you got to try that. And they're just kind of pursuing the latest trendy idea. In fact, an example is my husband runs a marketing company, and people come to him all the time. Well, I think I need this on my website, or I think I need more social media. And it's all what he calls random acts of marketing. They're just random acts that they're throwing out there without a strategy behind it. And a strategy is just a fancy word for knowing what you want to accomplish and how you're going to do it. And that's where traction comes from, is knowing what you want to accomplish and how you're going to do it. And if the hows that you've been following aren't working for you, then it might be time to get a different perspective. whether you're going to attend a workshop, read a book, hire a coach, for example, there's something that you're missing. And there may be a blind spot of some kind, something you haven't thought of, something that you can't see. And so that's where a different perspective is probably in order so that you can get yourself regrouped and refocused.
But really, how can they get it right now? Talking about those who are finding it difficult to gain both online and offline attraction, do you want to share some common reasons why they don't achieve this in the business? How can they start it right?
Well, I think some common reasons are people are pretty set in their mindset. And so they're looking at things only from a certain perspective. And so mindset is the first place to look. What are some of the beliefs that you're holding? And one way of understanding our mindset is to listen to your own language. Because our language, the words that we are speaking, are a reflection of the thoughts that we're thinking. And so if people, it can be tricky to understand our mindset or uncover our blind spots by ourselves. That's where a coach, for example, can be very helpful, because a coach is listening for what's not being said. They're asking questions that can uncover that mindset. But if someone's not working with a coach, then my other recommendation is to listen to your language. If your language is negative, for example, or if your language is, oh, that won't work, or I can't do that, then they need to start to build awareness of their language, because awareness of their language will give them awareness of their mindset. And awareness is the first place to start if we need to change something. I talk to a lot of my clients about what I call the chain of change. And the chain of change is our thoughts dictate our feelings dictate our actions or inactions, and our actions dictate our results. If people aren't getting the results that they want, the outcomes that they want, often what they will do is they'll look at what actions do I need to take different. And that's not going deep enough. Yes, we need to take different action, but we have to dig deeper, because the actions or inactions are symptoms of something underlying, and the underlying are the thoughts and feelings that are driving the actions, which ultimately create our results. So it's not enough just to look at doing something different. We have to look at the thoughts and feelings that are driving our action or inaction. And again, that's where it's possible to do it on your own if you have self-awareness. But if you don't, that's where a coach or consultant can come in really helpful, because they're the ones who are going to help provide fresh perspective and uncover those blind spots that the individual can't see for themselves.
Absolutely. Thank you, Laura Watson, for sharing your thoughts. I'd like us to delve a bit into blind spots, which you just highlighted earlier in your discussion. Is there anything really like blind spots in business? How do you uncover blind spots? And are there areas you think that they might occur in a business?
Yeah, I mean, there can be lots of blind spots in business. So, for example, I've got a business owner right now, a client of mine, who's an engineer and great at what he does, but he's not a financial expert. And so there's blind spots in his business regarding his finances and how he has structured it and been running it. And this is a mature company. They've got revenues in the millions. They've existed for a number of years. And they've just kind of been going along, hoping that the money side is working. So he's now hired a fractional CFO in order to address the finances in his business. So small business owners have to have team around them. They can't be great at everything. So they have to look at where do they lack some expertise? If they lack expertise in marketing, you can get a fractional chief marketing officer. If you lack experience or expertise in finances, bring in a good accountant or a CFO, so that those people can uncover the blind spots that you're not aware of. Because blind spot implies you can't see it. And if you can't see it, you can't intervene or act on it. So we have to have people around us who have the expertise that we don't have. And then again, a coach can be super handy around helping us uncover the mindset blind spots that we have, because we all have biases and ways of thinking and approaching things that we have become automatic for us. Think of it like being on autopilot, and those can become blind spots that we're not aware of. I have another client who has a very negative mindset. So everything that he looks at with his business comes through this negative filter. And so that negative filter is stopping him from seeing other possibilities in his business. So he and I are working together right now to shift his mindset, eliminate the negativity, bring in other perspectives and ways of seeing things so that he can see more possibility. And as he starts to become more positive, see more possibility, those blind spots start to diminish. And yeah, with new possibility, he can create new goals and take new actions and get where he wants to go faster. And that's ultimately why we do this.
Now, in terms of customer service, which is very important, absolutely important to the organization, business organization, don't you think we also need to tackle the importance of blind spots in this regard? You know, sometimes we have our business not moving the way it ought to. I'd like us to look at these perspectives in terms of customer service and the organization and its sources. How can we tackle a blind spot in this regard?
That's a great question, because we're so in our business that sometimes we're not looking at things from the customer's perspective. We think we're creating a certain experience for our customer, but we never know until we actually ask them. And it's an interesting question you ask, because actually my husband works with a company owner, and his business is all about surveying companies. And so companies hire my husband's client to go in and ask questions and do surveys. And one of the types of surveys that they do is customer surveys. So they go in and will ask customers, excuse me, how is this company performing? What is your customer experience? What's it like to be a customer with this company? So that they can gain insight from their customers. So I find, you know, and of course, customer reviews are all over the place online. So asking for customer reviews, asking for feedback from our customers, because we can think that we're providing a certain customer experience, but we don't actually know until we ask. And if we don't ask, we're keeping ourselves in a feedback vacuum, and that's dangerous. We need feedback from all over the place, especially from our customers, so that we know what are we doing well, what are we not doing well, and how can we improve? So great question. And absolutely, if we're not asking the questions and getting the feedback, we're setting ourselves up for blind spots in regards to our customers and our customer service. So asking those questions is imperative.
And now quickly, how can we begin to ask these questions now? Talking about setting a feedback loop system for the organization, how can we do that? It's very important for us to ask questions, quite right. And feedback is very important, as you quite said. I'm a customer service consultant, and I really understand the importance of feedback loop system in terms of, you know, building customer loyalty and also attaining, you know, success in your business. So what do you like to say in this regard?
Well, feedback, as you know, is very important. And it's so, and there's, I guess it depends on who you're asking for the feedback. So for example, I work with leaders who are giving and need to receive feedback directly from their direct reports and from their managers, so that the feedback loop is very small because it's amongst maybe the senior management team. But there's lots of ways to get feedback. From a leadership perspective, for example, there are 360-degree feedback tools out there that can be anonymous. And so there are a number of those surveys that exist where a leader can or a manager can use a tool like that to receive feedback from their upper management, from their colleagues, from their direct reports. And it's anonymous so that they can understand from the people around them what they're doing well and what could be different. And then from a customer service perspective, yes, there are companies out there that specialize. There are coaches out there that specialize in setting up systems to collect feedback, because as I said earlier, customers may be having a very different experience from the one that we think we are delivering. And so whether it's a very simple Google form that gets created and distributed out to customers to collect feedback, or it's a more robust system that gets created depending on the size and scale of the business. There are tools out there that can fit any scale of business in order to solicit that feedback. But it's super important to ask permission to receive the feedback, and then be open to it, obviously, and then actually look at it and analyze it and see what the feedback is, make decisions about what needs to be different, and then include that in your business plan for what you're going to do differently to change the customer experience over time.
Laura, do you have any exciting news, perhaps an important project you are working on at the moment? You think it's going to be super beneficial to the audience of Lively by Mobile Steven? I think this is the right time, and you can share that.
Yeah, well, a project that's in the works in the background actually is I am writing a leadership book. So if people were to follow me on LinkedIn, they'll see some commentary about that. I mean, the book is just being drafted now, so it's a little ways away. But in the meantime, my website is venturecoaching.ca. And if people don't want to wait for a book, I have a whole number of free resources on my website. So there's a free tab there, and I have a number of ebooks that talk about communication, business planning, feedback, leadership development. And if they want something right now, they could actually go there and get some great free resources.
Great, good to know. Thank you for sharing that with my audience, Laura. Wish you best of luck in these book projects and in all the subsequent projects that you embark upon.
Well, thank you so much. It seems like a big project, but I'm up to the challenge.
Absolutely. We wish you best of luck once again, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. And from the audience of Lively by Mobile Steven, thank you for sharing your time and your expertise on this important topic, talking about how we can understand the importance of focus and traction in the business organization. Thank you once again. It's really been a worthwhile time having you on the show. Wish you best of luck once again. It's been Lively by Mobile Steven. I'm your host, Mobile Steven. If you'd like to catch up with any episodes of the show in terms of transformative and mind-shift conversations that is going to pivot the change that you and I need in this side of eternity, Lively by Mobile Steven is the podcast that you can listen to. I tell you, you're going to have a 360-degree mind shift when you listen to expert and professionals share profound insight on topics or subjects that are related to personal development and self-improvement. I need you always to stay safe. I talk to you soon. Thank you once again, Laura.
Thank you. It's been great.
All right. That's so good.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe and leave us a review.